This is David Guzik, and I'm talking to you live from Kenya. We're on the western part of the country now in a city called, I'm looking at my notes here, in a city called Migori, and we're here visiting a lot of different ministries. I'll be honest with you. One of the reasons I'm doing this little quick live update is simply to test whether or not the stream runs well enough for me to do the question and answer here on Thursday, in just a couple days from now. But it is a real pleasure for me to come and just tell you just a little bit about what we've been doing here in Kenya. My wife and I, Ingalil, came here last Friday together with a dental team. You see, Ingalil, my wife, leads dental ministry all around, usually in the developing world, but anywhere there's a need and she's invited and can connect with a good ministry. And so I was invited to come over to Africa for a conference. We decided to combine it with a dental mission trip, and so that's what we're doing here together. So we're together with a great team doing dental ministry, and I'm partnering with a pastor that I know from Rome, Calvary Chapel, Rome, who is doing a lot of ministry in Kenya for a good long time. So he and I are teaching and preaching to different pastors and conferences and such, and my wife and her dental team are doing their thing. So we arrived on Friday to Nairobi. On Saturday and Sunday, we had a wonderful pastors' conference with many churches, many pastors around the Nairobi area. There were some people visiting from other countries, Tanzania. We had some wonderful Maasai brothers come. But this was a great time. I would say we probably had 60 or 70 pastors and their wives and ministry leaders there at the conference. What a wonderful time we had on Saturday and Sunday. This was my first time being in this part of Africa at all. Either before I'd only been in South Africa, down in Cape Town, or up at the very top of Africa, Northern Africa. But I'd never been in the middle part of Africa, what some people call Africa, Africa. And so what a wonderful time. I was so pleased to meet the many just wonderful quality pastors and leaders that we just had a great time of a conference together. Taught a couple times on Saturday, taught a couple times on Sunday, but most of all, I just enjoyed meeting and getting to know many of these pastors. And if I can say, I hope I can say this without sounding strange, it was a great blessing to hear from many of them how many of them use the resources on Enduring Word. I have to say that was just a great encouragement to see that the Bible commentary that we put out is being fruitful. It's being used around the world, and by pastors that I would come all the way over to this part of Africa to meet. Many of them said that it was a helpful thing for them in their ministry and in their study. So that was Saturday and Sunday. Now, while I was doing the pastors' conference on Saturday and Sunday, my wife and the dental team on Saturday, they were at a children's home in one of the slums of Nairobi, and they said it was just a wonderful time together there with the children. On Sunday, my wife and her dental team were with the conference group that was gathered there together at the Shalom House in Nairobi. And there they ministered to the people at the conference and dental work for the staff, for the people of the conference. Again, a wonderful time. Then on Monday, we traveled west to Kisumu, and then we came to Kibabe. This is all on the western part of Kenya, closer to Lake Victoria. And at Kibabe, we were there at Calvary Chapel, Kibabe, where there's a wonderful church, a beautiful work going on there in a more rural area here of Kenyan. They have a wonderful church family there, ministry to children, a wonderful U-turn recovery ministry. There, they didn't really do any dental work. That was a day for the dental team to regroup. But we also had a great time with teaching, with a question and answer time, just meeting the people and getting to see the place. What a great ministry is going on there at Calvary Chapel, Kibabe. The U-Turn Recovery Ministry, U-Turn for Christ, is a wonderful recovery ministry that's seen thousands and thousands of men and women be set free from their drug and alcohol addictions and learn how to walk right in wonderful discipleship to the Lord. So that was tremendous to see. And then we also had a great time there. We spent the night there last night. And then Tuesday, that is today, we drove out to Migori. Now, Migori is where I'm staying right now in a hotel. And we went to a children's home outside of Migori near the Tanzanian border. This is a place called the Steeda School. And I have to say, it was a remarkable experience today. Out in this rural area, somewhere near the border of Tanzania, over the Kenya, this wonderful family, this wonderful group has put together a powerful work of a children's home, a boarding school, a residency school, many of them being orphans, some of them true orphans, some of them in a boarding school. But this is a school of about 380 people. There's a full-time presence there of people that are there for a boarding school, some of them in a position of being orphans, some of them just taking advantage of the wonderful educational opportunities. And to spend the time there and meet Pastor Stevenson, who runs the school, his wonderful wife, Damaris, and just to be there at the school and to see the place. And then to have the dental team that my wife and her team together, all five of them, doing an amazing amount of wonderful dental work, mostly on the children of the school. They saw a few adults in there as well. But it was a remarkable time of seeing almost 50 patients and doing just a tremendous work there for them. So it was great to see this really, really well-run school. I'll give you one of the best testimonies I can tell you about how well-run the school is that, they were doing some dental work earlier for the people in the children's home in one of the slums of Nairobi. Then they did it for some of the conference attendees and things like that. But they saw that the general quality of dental hygiene and care for the children at this school was really very high. Of course, there was dental work to be done, but it was just sort of impressive to see these children are really well taken care of. And it's a great vision. It's a great team there, again, at the Steeda School. Pastor Stevenson, who leads it. And I would just say this, that there's a great church in Ontario, Oregon, that's near the eastern border of the state of Oregon in the United States. And Calvary Chapel, Ontario does a wonderful, wonderful job there of supporting and giving vision and funding to the school. Well, one extra treat for me there today was to meet a man that I had seen and met at the pastors' conference in Nairobi on Saturday and Sunday. Quite unexpectedly there, we saw Pastor Marigi there from Calvary Chapel, Gitura, in Nairobi. What a wonderful time to meet Pastor Marigi, his wife Ann, and just spend time with them. And they help with the organization and some of the structural oversight of the school. I had no idea they were connected with this. But to meet and spend time with Pastor Marigi and his wife, and to see that they have a great partnership with helping the school and giving vision and oversight to it. Wow, what a great time that was. So, folks, it was a very rewarding experience the last few days to be able to just see and connect with so many believers who, of course, they genuinely love Jesus. They want to see God do a tremendous work here in Kenya and just across the African continent. But they also care very deeply about being faithful to God and His Word. Look, there's a lot of Christians in Kenya, but there's also a lot of weird church presence. Some of it is kind of crazy, hyper-Pentecostal. Some of it's very legalistic. Some of it's very strange and cultic. But it's wonderful to see that there are great believers who really love the Lord, pastors and their wives and ministry teams that are doing their best to serve God and advance His kingdom. It's been extremely rewarding to spend time around them. And not to say it, another thing as well, it's been great to be able to see up close, like all day today, the amazing work that the dental team does here, that my wife has organized, but she has a great team of people around her. Peggy, Jan, Kathy, Nancy, together with my wife Ingalil. That's 5 women who are just doing an amazing work with the dental team. And to see it firsthand today, because today I wasn't doing any preaching or teaching, I was just sort of helping in small ways with the dental work. Wow, what a great thing to see, and how much it shows the love, the grace, the ministry of Jesus, especially as they're able to pour so much spiritually into each patient, praying for them before, caring for them spiritually, praying for them after, asking them where they're at with the Lord, and just ministering to them, not only with the wonderful dental work that they do, but also ministering to them with the tremendous spiritual input that they have. So that's been it. Now, folks, I got a little bit of a difficulty here because I'm doing this live from my phone in a hotel room in Migori, Kenya, and I'm trying to figure out if there's a way that I can see the chat here. These are just giving me options for the chat. That's not really doing. If I can see any of the chat from my phone, I'd be interested in looking at it, but I'll be honest with you, I don't have a way that I can see the chat. I see the little bubbles as they come up, but they don't stay up on my screen. I guess what I'm saying is I would love to have some interaction with you, to respond to your live comments, but I'm just not able to. So thank you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being a part of this. And I think we're going to do a little bit of analysis from this, but I think this is kind of demonstrating to me that the live stream's working okay, at least well enough for us to do this on, my wife's showing me, it looks like it's working okay. It's kind of a thing within a thing there. That I think we're going to be doing the Q&A live here from Migori on the YouTube channel this coming Thursday. So I hope you can join us then. There we'll have a lot more input from the live chat, and I'll be able to interact with that. If you can join us just about 48 hours from now, we'll be doing the live Q&A from Migori in Kenya. God willing, and if we live. If not, well, we'll do it from the States with one of my wonderful partners in the work of Enduring Word. So that's going to be it for now. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for your prayers. We still have remaining ministry to do in Kenya, and then on Saturday we head to Uganda, where we're going to be a part of a conference for pastors and their wives, just to pour into them, to refresh them, to bless them. I'll be doing some preaching and teaching for the conference, of course, and then Ingalil and the dental team will be a part of. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's my wife hearing. No, she's laughing and saying that she's sorry, but that's fine. Don't worry about it, baby. So we're going to, afterwards, we're going to, while I'm doing the preaching and teaching over the days of this conference, Ingalil and the dental team will be doing whatever dental work and ministry they can do to those pastors and their wives who are attending the conference. So I appreciate your prayers for that. And God willing, and if we live, we'll be with you in about 48 hours. Thank you so much for joining me today. God bless you, and hope to see you again from Kenya.